Well, Genevieve, thank you so much for being on Data Talk, and thought it would be great if we start a little bit about yourself and your role at Experian.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I look after Experian Marketing Services, which now also includes our recent acquisition of TapAd, as well as Experian Data Quality Services. And one of the reasons I was so excited to take this role is that we have such a great set of assets and products for marketers and advertisers. So, with all the changes the industry is going through right now, we saw a really important opportunity to use our assets to help our clients navigate those changes, drive more innovation within the industry, and support data-driven advertising that is more privacy-focused and transparent for consumers.
I know a lot of people are like listening in, going, "Experian has a marketing services department," like, and maybe even surprised to hear
Yeah.
that. Can you talk a little bit about like the services that we provide clients?
Yeah, of course. So we support marketers and advertisers with Experian Marketing Services. We do that in much the same way that we support other clients across the rest of Experian, which is through data, analytics, and tools and software that makes our clients' lives easier. We're very well known for our consumer view database. That's a database of over 300 million Americans, 115 million households, and includes identity, behavioral, and demographic attributes on all those included. It's a really, really powerful offline database. We complement that with incredible amounts of data that is digital and other types of data, including other third-party data, and tools and services that allow our clients to actually really take advantage of that data. So across the marketing value chain. So the data, but also services that support activation, identity, as well as measurement.
What are what are some of the big like topics or trends as clients are reaching out and needing help with right now?
Well, the big one is around third-party cookies. In January of 2020, Google announced that they would phase out third-party cookies on Chrome. Initially by January 2022, that's now been extended to late 2023. And while Chrome is not the first browser to phase out third-party cookies, Safari and Firefox have already done so, it is the largest. It has 60% market share. So basically, Google's doing away with third-party cookies means everybody is. Google's stated reason for phasing out cookies is to meet consumer demand for greater privacy. Critics say it will also give Google greater market power.
Uh-huh.
But regardless, the reason it's important is because when a data type deprecates, that's just our fancy way of saying it goes away. Depending on the data type, there can be a direct impact on the ability to deliver targeted advertisements. That can have a huge impact on marketers. So for this, marketers need to diversify their data strategies if they're going to continue to advertise effectively and be resilient to these kinds of changes. So for example, in the case of third-party cookie deprecation, we're advising marketers that they need to explore multiple other initiatives such as first-party digital data identifiers, data extension, and stronger data collaboration to help them prepare for the future. But I'd say the bottom line is consumers want more control over their data. So any advertising approach going forward does need to put consumer at the heart of every decision that's made. Data transparency and consumer privacy need to be prioritized.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
We're really talking.
Destiny, I was just thinking like as Genevieve was sharing this, Destiny, I was like thinking about all the different ads that I see, and I guess my concern is like as targeting kind of goes away, like how marketers are going to be need to be more smart about how they're going to reach their target audiences. Because right now, because we have like a lot of different we have kids at my house, and then I get my own targeted ads, and depending on which device I'm on, if I'm on a device where my kids are mostly on, like the ads are all like kids focused, like toys and that type of stuff. If I'm on my own device, sometimes the content, uh, depending on who's been using my phone, will be targeted to them. So it's always surprising to me, like how with cookies and everything, it makes it easier for marketers to be able to target the right people, but it gets much more complicated when those devices are shared or when cookies go away.
Exactly. And it makes me wonder like what's going to happen in the future as far as like I know that marketers are going to need to be more strategic and more, they're going to have to diversify like the content because they can't rely on the cookies. It just makes me wonder like what the future is going to look like for advertisements since this is going away. It's been around since the 90s, like most people think of cookies and oh the internet they're tracking what I'm doing or I talked about the shoes that I want to get from Nordstrom or wherever, and then all of a sudden it shows up in the ads. And so that's just going to completely change now. Is that right? No more
Not
tracking?
necessarily, not necessarily at all. What will change is that the data used to deliver those ads is going to change. We live in a dynamic industry. Data types emerge and deprecate actually fairly frequently. The difference here is that the ecosystem has become what I would say is over reliant on third party cookies. So a lot of the infrastructure right now relies on that. So there's an imperative on the industry to adjust that infrastructure to take advantage of other data types that are available to also allow advertisers to effectively target.
Genevieve, how is digital identity being used for marketing purposes right now?
So digital identity has always been fundamental to advertising, just full stop. Marketers have target customers and they need to advertise effectively to them and they need to reach them. They do that using identity in one form or another. But as Destiny indicated, rightfully, as consumers live more of their lives digitally, reaching that right person has become much more complex. A single consumer could be represented by literally dozens of digital data points from different devices, different locations. So to get that accurate view, marketers have to connect all those data points. Because if they can't, they're not delivering the ad to the right person in the right channel. And I'm sure that you get ads all the time that you are irrelevant to you or that is after you already purchased something, right? That's an ineffective use or not doing that effectively. So to advertise and engage with customers effectively, marketers need to link across those devices as well as across first-party and third-party data. It's very complex. It takes advanced technology and analytics to do well. But of course, that's where we come in.
Totally. Now, and I was going to ask you about that. Like on a standpoint, when you're working with clients, how is Experian helping clients prepare for the shift?
Yeah, so there's a number of different ways. Inherently, by what we do through our data, our analytics, our tools, we help our clients through that. But instead of driving marketers to a single next solution, Experian Marketing Services is focused on enabling the ecosystem through what we call healthy diversification by supporting multiple existing and new identifiers as they emerge. As I said, the deprecation of third-party cookies, it's creating a shock because there was over-dependence on one type of data. It's a hard lesson learned. So at Experian, we're focused on supporting the overall ecosystem resiliency and ensuring our clients and partners have the ability to take advantage of all new data types as they emerge, whether they're third-party cookies or alternatives or something else. And in part, we're doing this by supporting more effective interoperability of the various digital data types and methodologies that either exist or will be existing.
Genevieve, how has the recent TapAd acquisition, how is that going to be helping Experian?
So, well, the addition of TapAd allows us to complement Experian's leadership in data and identity with TapAd's leading cross-device digital identity graph, which covers 350 million individuals and 140 million households. So as I talked about, new digital identifiers and data types are regularly emerging. Rather than immediately, the combination of our capabilities advances that interoperability we've been talking about and positions us to support our clients in transitioning to that post-third-party cookie world. I'd say a huge part of the attractiveness of TapAd is that their approach and role in the ecosystem is very much in alignment with Experian's, which is to develop solutions that are privacy forward and adaptable, and that support our clients' ability to navigate and benefit from data through all kinds of industry, consumer, and technology changes.
You mentioned these new kind of digital identifiers that are constantly emerging. Are there any particular ones that are interesting to you?
There are already so many different digital identifiers across the ecosystem besides third-party cookies. So first, I think fundamentally that's important to understand. As we discussed, third-party cookies, the infrastructure has become over-reliant on them. There are a number of what are being called third-party cookie alternative identifiers being launched. There's dozens of them. Many of them are based on first-party cookies, but not only that. Our view is not that one is better than the other. Frankly, it will be very hard for any emerging digital identifier to reach the scale that third-party cookies had. So that's why we're encouraging interoperability and resiliency by being able to work with all of those digital identifiers, or at least all the main ones.
Do you know of any future possible trends that may come up that may serve as like a challenge for marketers other than what's going on with the removal of cookies?
Yeah, well, the challenge of identity, regardless of the industry change of the day, today it's third-party cookies, has been that ability to resolve different data points to individuals or households. We talked about right now there's a lot of third-party alternative identifiers hitting the market, but as consumer behaviors and technology continue to evolve, so will a digital identity. There will be new types of data and identifiers that emerge and go away and emerge and so on. And that's because our market and identity is inherently dynamic. 3 years ago, we didn't even talk about connected television. And now it's a really important digital identifier. This year, there's changes to the volume of Apple IDFA data. Next year, as we talked about, is third-party cookies. The year after that, we don't know with certainty, but it'll probably be something. And the year after that, and so forth. So these challenges we're talking about today are the challenges. There are challenges ongoing, but I think we've got a really important opportunity in this moment of time to reimagine what that future ecosystem looks like into being one that takes advantage of all those data types more readily and is built with more resilience.
Can you talk more about the connected TV and what that means for Experian and helping our clients reach their customers? Because I think about just during the last year, how many new apps I've added to my phone to look at certain types of content, whether it's Disney Plus, Paramount TV, right? Nickelodeon. There's so many different ways to get specific types of content right to our digital devices. And so I wonder maybe you could talk a little bit about the connected TV and what that means.
Yeah. So connected TV is growing exponentially. I think the latest statistic I heard was that the U.S. Connected television associated advertising spend was going to reach $20 billion by 2025. This is a market that didn't even exist a few years ago. So pretty impressive statistics. For Experian, we've long been a leader in data-driven television advertising. So it's very important that we support our clients to take advantage of this rapidly growing advertising space and potentially very effective advertising space. And we're in a great position to do so by combining our offline identity and data assets with TapAd's digital identity capabilities. We can help our clients enhance their cross-screen campaigns and streamline their digital and connected television advertising buys. And so as television spend continues to shift towards digital, we're in a position to support our clients with all of their data-based TV advertising needs, whether it's linear, addressable, or connected TV.
Wow. I just want to know overall, Genevieve, if there's anything that you want to tell the listeners about your vision for what lies ahead at Experian. I want you to lay it all out there.
Well, I'd say that the last couple of years especially have demonstrated the importance of adaptability. As a data-driven advertising partner, we're investing in technologies and capabilities that are going to help our clients do just that, adapt, and therefore win. So if we can provide our clients a way to innovate and take advantage of market and consumer behavior changes, wherever they strike, whatever they are, then we will have done our job.
That's awesome. That's super, super cool.
Yeah.
So Genevieve, we have like a lot of digital marketers listening in, data scientists listening in, and people who want to join the Experian team. When you're looking to expand the digital marketers, the data scientists that join, that work under you, what type of people are you looking for?
Yeah, so first of all, we're hiring. So I encourage everyone listening to go to Experian.com and check the job boards. Please apply. We can't wait to hear from you. When I think about the people that do best here, that we're most excited about, skills, best and brightest, that goes without saying, but really it's the attitude, right? We have big ambitions here at Experian Marketing Services. We are really excited about what the future holds. We want people who are excited about our ambition too, and who are really excited about the difference that they can make within our organization.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
That's awesome. Well, Genevieve, thank you so much for being on Data Talk.
Sure. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Data Talk podcast. We share new shows every week, and you can find the full catalog of previous episodes, including YouTube videos, on our Experian news blog. You can get access to the full catalog by going to Experian.com/DataTalk. And we always love hearing from our community, so if you have any comments or suggestions for future shows or guests you'd like to hear from, please let us know. You can leave a comment on iTunes, or you can reach out to us on Twitter at Experian Data Lab. You can also email me directly. My email is michael.delgado@experian.com. Take care, and we'll chat next week.